Hey, happy day. I hear an airplane. Many pilots and stewardesses and other people have been calling in sick. Even though they're not sick, it's a protest, right? Because United and Delta and so many other airlines, Southwest included, they're saying, hey guys, y'all can't come to work if you're not vaccinated. Now they're saying, come back and we'll hide you in the cockpit and shut the door and everybody will be fine. Hey, the world, rigid flexibility, don't you know? Liberals, if a sitting liberal politician quit smoking, then he outlaws smoking for everybody else. That's what they do. If a sitting liberal gets a cold, he creates a law that says everybody's got to have a sweater, and then he does a government grant to his cousin or best friend or brother and says, go open up a sweater factory and I'll give you all the money and then we can sell sweaters to people, right? We got to get rid of these scamps because they're just that. They're bad folks and I don't even like them. The leading cause, jumping, giving up now. The leading cause of death is illegal drugs, not legal guns. So many politicians say, boomity boom, got to get all the guns away from everybody. Why don't you go after the people with drugs? The people. The availability of guns ain't nothing compared to drugs, right? Guns, drugs, hold it. Most drug hits commit crime, and liberals, they don't want them to pay. They want to reduce sentences and make it easier for criminals to not go to jail, and they try to put legal gun owners in jail. Do you get that? I mean, I don't, I never will. The drug stuff is going on every day, and hundreds of thousands of Americans and Canadians and people around the world die because of drugs. And the drug dealers, if they're arrested, if they're caught, they don't get big sentences. You know what? You're committing murder, particularly fentanyl and things like that. These people should be hung from the highest tree, because then maybe drug dealers would look for another profession, another job to get into, kidnapping or something like that, right? So it would be better. Just saying. Hillary Clinton. So many people say Trump. He's delusional. He's still saying that the election was stolen from him with Biden, and he's crazy and on and on. But I saw Hillary Clinton just the other day on a television show, on an interview. She said, it was stolen from me, the election. This is like 5 years ago. Get past it, right? And she's saying that, and everybody says, everybody in the left-wing press world, everybody is saying that's okay. From her it was stolen, from Trump it was not. Fair. Does the word fair come to mind? If a liberal politician, can't even talk about those people, they get me wound up so much. If a liberal politician had a truthful thought in their head, it would die of loneliness. That's profound, isn't it? Alberta, Canada, they signed the Canadian Constitution. Quebec, they didn't sign the Canadian Constitution. Quebec can amend the Constitution. How do you amend something that you haven't been a party to, right? Alberta cannot amend the Constitution. Oh, that's because they're a party to it. Quebec can import oil from Saudi Arabia. Alberta can't. Alberta can export oil from Canada only with great difficulty to Quebec in particular. Quebec is officially unilingual. Alberta is officially bilingual. That's hardly any French people in Alberta. You kind of see a trend here about fairness and lack of. Quebec is a recipient of federal equalization money, as in hundreds of billions of dollars. Alberta is a giver of that money. They give it, Quebec takes it. And in Quebec, the federal government does all they can to help Quebec, right? With jobs and everything. They're a commie regime, really. They take Alberta's money and they abuse it because they teach everybody or give everybody the opportunity to be a communist, right? Effectively, Quebec regularly sends a band of separatist politicians to the national parliament. Alberta hasn't even started doing that. And Quebec is a nation, apparently. Even the prime minister, even the conservative prime ministers have said that. They're a nation, but Alberta's just, we don't know what Alberta is, but it ain't a nation. But it should be a nation. That's just a tip sheet for you with a couple of items. But Alberta needs to separate. It needs to become independent. Separation, I see that with a lot of people. You know, they're married, husband and wife, and they separate. Sometimes the wife moves into the basement, or the husband does, and they get back together. Separation implies that you're supposed to separate for a little while. Not many people do, maybe kind of, sort of, but that's the concept, right? I like divorce. If you're going to separate, get divorced. Move along now, put your bag in the trunk and start a new life. Alberta needs to do that. Alberta's in an abusive situation, abusive relationship. They have been for a long time. And they've been to counselors. They've done all of that. They stayed together for the kids. It's time now, pack and move along. Oh, but what about healthcare? What about this? What about the police? There's a lot of whatabouts, right? That'll come. That'll happen naturally. It'll happen once you leave. If you stay, and don't pack your suitcase and don't put it in the trunk of your car, but before you get organized, guess what? Probably never leave. Alberta has some of the largest oil reserves on Earth, blessed by nature and cursed by man, certainly by the man and the people that live in Quebec. It's a totally messed up thing. It's upside down. Some men, some women, some liberals, some empty-head. I mean, it's not very nice. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela, I think, has the largest oil reserve in the world, right? They're estimated at, the population is estimated at 28 million in 2019, and now it's like under 20. Everybody's leaving. They can't get out fast enough. The citizenry has lost 20 pounds each. Not because they're on a diet, but because there's no money and they're starving to death, and they're a rich, rich place. Alberta's kind of going that direction, right? I mean, come on already. They've lost 400 million pounds from it. This is the Venezuela people, not Alberta. 400 million pounds from a socialist starvation diet. And it's coming to a province near you unless you pack up and leave. It's kind of like staying in that abusive relationship. Things get worse. Time to move on. Alberta, I'm a big, big fan of separation. Move along and have your own nation, and Quebec, go get money from Saudi Arabia or something else. Hey, y'all come back, have a nice day, have a nice life, and right is the answer politically. Left is wrong, right is right. If we say that to everybody often enough, maybe they'll start to pick it up. See ya.